So Tokyo Disney Resort came out with some very surprising news this week. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. Tokyo Disney's first ever Marvel's ride will be... It's a Small World? Yeah, so I was planning a totally different video for this week, but I just have to talk about this because... What? What is going on? Now, this is even stranger and has larger implications than you probably even realize. So we're going to talk about what it is, what it could mean for the future of Tokyo Disney, and why it was so unexpected. So first, I have to have a huge shout out to all my Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much. You all helped to make this show happen. I live in Tokyo, but it's the only Disney resort in the world that doesn't have annual passes. So every time I want to go there to film videos for the channel, I need to pay for a full price day ticket. So you all helped to make this happen. Thank you so much. If you want to help me to make these videos and get extra perks like early access to videos, Q&As, and even my personal line so you can message me about a future trip, please check out the description or the QR code that's going to be here or somewhere. Okay, so let's get into it first. First off, I'm going to read the press release so that we can understand exactly what this thing is, because there's been a little bit of confusion. No, this is not a permanent ride. It's going to be a temporary overlay, but let's put it in their words. Okay, so here it is. Tokyo Disneyland attraction It's a Small World to feature Marvel characters for a limited period in It's a Small World with Groot, premiering winter 2025. So if you've got a trip planned pretty soon and you think you're going to see this, you are not winter 2025. Featuring characters from across the Marvel Cinematic Universe, designed in the endearing style of the Tokyo Disneyland attraction, It's a Small World, for a limited period, marking the first appearance of Marvel characters in an attraction at Tokyo Disney Resort. So it's worth pointing out here, right now, there is no Marvel in the parks. We have a little bit of Marvel stuff in the Ambassador Hotel. You can get shawarmas there, they sell some Marvel stuff, and you can get different Marvel rooms occasionally, but it's very, very minimal. We did get an announcement earlier this year that we're going to have a new castle projection show coming to Tokyo Disneyland. In the artwork for that, we can see Iron Man, so there's clearly going to be some Marvel characters in there, and that's before the It's a Small World with Groot. Oh, that's never not going to be weird to say, is it? That's before this new overlay is going to come. So this will be the first time Marvel characters are in an attraction, but the first time they're in any kind of entertainment or show will be the as yet unnamed castle projection show coming this September. In the attraction It's a Small World, guests board boats for the happiest cruise that ever set sail around the world and are welcomed by Walt Disney Animation Studios characters, as well as children and animals from all around the world. Yeah, so for those who don't know, while the outside of our ride doesn't look like Florida, it looks more like California. You have the really nice big outdoor facade. Inside, it's exactly the same as It's a Small World in the Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney World in Florida, but ours has been updated to add different Disney characters to the scenes, which personally I quite like. It's pretty cute, and my daughter likes spotting all the characters every time. I know there's some controversy around that, and it's getting even more controversial with this, just to make that very clear. In It's a Small World with Groot, Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy film trilogy and his friends from Marvel Studios films are visiting Earth for vacation. Yeah, so that's what I was so confused when the first thing I thought when I saw this was, aren't they from space? Like, this is the worst thing you could possibly fit in there. They're not even from the world. They're from a different world. But yeah, they're visiting. They're on holiday, which is kind of cute. I kind of like that. Groot encounters his friends in various locations on Earth and experiences their regional cultures and music with them, as well as with children from all over the world. Enjoy the fun moments Groot has spending his vacation with his friends. Guests will continue to see their favorite characters from Disney animation films throughout the world. So yeah, we're still going to have those Disney characters. They're not going to like pull the Disney characters out and put the Marvel ones in, which I don't know if that makes it even weirder, that there's going to be all these different Disney animation characters in there, and we're going to have Marvel characters on top, and all of this has been added onto the base ride, right? The original version of the ride. So it's very strange. So what does this mean? Well, before we get into like what this means for the future of Tokyo Disney, because I think it has really big implications, I want to talk about what I think happened here, which this is probably a little bit fanciful, but we used to have It's a Small World holiday, the beautiful seasonal overlay that California has, where they add Christmas, Hanukkah, they add all the different winter festivals into the ride, which is an absolutely perfect overlay for this ride. It captures the spirit of the attraction. It has that Christmassy, that holiday season spirit, and it just feels really special, and it just feels like a perfect fit. If you haven't ridden that, it doesn't take anything away from the ride. It just feels, if anything, it feels more special. And it still celebrates all these different cultures around the world, right? So we haven't had that for a while. We used to have that here in Tokyo, but apparently some of it got damaged, or I don't know. There's lots of different rumors around why we don't do it anymore, but we don't do it anymore. So I wonder, I feel like somebody probably said, hey, you remember we used to do that seasonal overlay for It's a Small World in the winter? We should totally do that again. That was great. You know, we have Haunted Mansion Holiday. Everybody loves that. Why don't we do that for It's a Small World as well? And somewhere that got lost in translation to like, oh, so that's like a Christmas thing, right? And at Christmas we have trees. Oh, what if we added like a Disney character? Who's a Disney character who's a tree? Oh, Groot's kind of a tree. And somehow that that like Frankensteined into, let's put Groot in It's a Small World. Again, this is not an April Fool's joke, I promise. Even though the artwork looks like fan art, right? It looks like, there's this wonderful channel on Instagram where they make like their own mixes, their own takes on like Disney attraction art, and they put different characters in. This looks exactly like something that they would do. I'll leave a link in the description for those because they're really, really cool. But yeah, this seems like one of those, right? It seems like something a fan made. It's completely bizarre. But I'm going to get into my opinion now. That's what I like about it. I like weird. I like bonkers stuff. And if this was permanent, I would have much stronger feelings about it. But I love a temporary ride overlay. It's so cool. You know, I love rides, and going into a ride and things being different is really, really neat. I really like that. So I think this is going to be really cool for that reason. As for what this might mean for the future of Tokyo Disney, well, you know, some people have speculated that, like, maybe this is their way of getting Marvel into the parks. They've talked about a few times in that press release, right? This is the first time there are going to be Marvel characters in the attraction. They're making that very, very clear. They want to make a big deal out of that. Marvel is not as popular in Japan as it is in most other developed countries, I would say. It's definitely less popular here than it is in any other country with a Disney park. That is to say, it's less popular in Japan than it is in China, Hong Kong, France, or America, right? North America. So, that's interesting. So this could be a case of the Disney company. For those who don't know, Tokyo Disney Resort is the only Disney resort that's not owned and operated by the Walt Disney Company. It's owned and operated by a company called the Oriental Land Company, who then pay Disney a licensing fee, and they also pay for their designs and their ideas from WDI, Walt Disney Imagineering. So this seems like something that maybe Disney have pushed onto them. Recently, we've seen a little bit of this. There's some Wish stuff in the park that's clearly to promote the new film. When the new Avatar movie came out, we got some giant Na'vi people in Lost River Delta at Disney Sea next to Indiana Jones for no reason. OLC didn't used to do this kind of thing, and it seems pretty clear that Disney are, you know, I'm not going to claim to know the inside, you know, financial agreements that they have. I'm sure it's very complicated, but in some way, Disney are incentivizing OLC to promote their properties. You know, they want to go big on Disney Plus, right? They want to push their streaming platform, so it makes sense that they would try and put money into that. I think in the past, OLC has not wanted to go down that route, but OLC now, post-pandemic, is a very different company to what it was before the pandemic, and I think they're a lot more happy to take any chances that they can get to make a little bit of extra cash. So I feel like that might be what's happening here. It cannot be overstated how powerful Tokyo Disney Resort is in changing the minds of the guests. Big Hero 6 wasn't hugely popular here, but they made the Baymax ride, and now Baymax is this massively popular character. Tokyo Disney Resort is a huge marketing tool. You know, it's home of the two of the top 4 most visited theme parks in the world, and the Japanese guests will embrace things that are in the park. So if this is Disney trying to get Marvel into the sort of zeitgeist of the Japanese public, it's probably a smart way of doing that, and it will probably be pretty successful in doing that. Putting them into It's a Small World, like, why It's a Small World? Why put them in this? Well, the answer to that question is, okay, you've got Marvel characters, you want to try putting them into an attraction, one to, I'm doing countdowns on both hands now, one to try and get them more into the public zeitgeist, right? And also maybe they're trying to try it. Like maybe the public don't take to it. Maybe they're really not interested in this stuff. So you don't want to build a whole new ride. Maybe they want to, going back to this hand now, maybe they want to try putting them in a ride and see how the public react to it before they invest massively in like a Marvel Land, or, you know, there've been rumors of putting Marvel into American Waterfront at Tokyo Disney Sea, which I'm not super into. It's supposed to be 1920s New York. I don't quite know how Marvel fits in there, but they could make it happen. You know, if they wanted to do it, they could make that work, right? So this is a way of trialing that. So the answer to why it's a small world, what else are you going to do? Is there any other ride at Tokyo Disney Resort that you can put Marvel characters in and it's going to make more sense than this? I mean, this makes very little sense. Let's be honest about that. But maybe it makes more sense than putting them in anything else. Like, what else could you do? You could do like an Ant-Man overlay of Buzz Lightyear, but that's essentially what Hong Kong did as a permanent ride. Like, I don't know if that would work as a temporary thing. I think this is the cheapest, easiest attraction to try and put things into if they want to gauge the public reaction, and I definitely think that's what's happening here. So if your question is why are they doing this, that's my best guess. I don't know these things, but as a local who goes there and likes to think that they understand OLC, I think that's the reason. That's the best reason I can come up with. Now, one thing I just hope is that they do it well, and I think they can. I think for as strange and unexpected as this was, and it was very unexpected, they could make this really good. They really, really could make it a sweet little temporary thing that guests really enjoy. So I just hope it doesn't suck. If you want to know 10 things that do suck over at Tokyo Disney Sea, yeah, I know, the best theme park in the world, right? How can you think of 10 things that suck there? Well, I go there all the time, and it wasn't that hard. So if you're curious about that, check out this video next, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.